Okay, I always start by chopping the bottom off my celery and then removing the leaves. Now you can absolutely leave those leaves on and blend them up just fine, but I know that the celery juice for me tastes a heck of a lot better if I remove those leaves. So give your celery a quick rinse under water. I know they talk about using scent-free soap to wash your celery, but I just do mine under cold water. Then start by chopping your celery up really super fine. It's got to be absolutely tiny pieces to begin with, and they're going to go into the blender first so that they can connect easily with the blades. Since we're not putting any water in here, we really need to chop it up small. And to get the big ends of the celery in and chopped up easily, I split them like this so that when I hold them together and I keep on chopping, I don't have to go back and kind of chop them up even more. Just saves me a bunch of time. So this end of the chopping board, I've got my super small pieces that will go on first, and then the chunkier pieces that will go in on top. I don't need the lid here, as I know that some people do need the lid on their blenders. Maybe they've got a super speed that they're using it on. I'm just going to start mine off on a low speed, and notice that I did not put any water in. It is just the celery on its own. So I'm popping those really small pieces in first, and as I go along I'm going to slowly add the bigger chunks on top. But for a beginning, I just want to get those small pieces blended up, and you'll notice that I'll point to where you can see the water start to be released from the juice. So here we go. Just press down gently with your wooden spoon and try not to do what I'm about to do here and chop my wooden spoon in the blade. There it goes. All I'm doing is feeling around for where I'm getting some movement from. I'm trying to just gently poke and prod those celery pieces down onto the blades so they can connect. And you can see that water starting to rise up as it's released from the celery. Remember, I haven't added any water at all. The water that you can see rising up is literally coming out of the celery as it's being chopped up. Just keep prodding gently. Gradually more and more pieces will connect with the blades, and you'll notice that it will start chopping the celery on its own, but I still do need to give it some help because it is pretty thick. And all of this is being done in real time. This is really how long it takes to get it done. You might have a different kind of blender. Perhaps you have larger blades and your celery can connect much faster, or more celery can connect at once. I've only got these small blades at the base of this tall blender, so it does take a bit of moving around to allow the celery to get down there and touch the blades. But once we get to this point where the water is almost to the top, it happens pretty quickly, and I'll be able to pop it on a higher speed in a minute to just do a final blend and get everything through. There we go, ramped it up a little bit just for the last bit to get those last couple of pieces to sink to the bottom. And we're about done. Now what I'm using here is a kind of rubber matting. It's exactly what you would use as a non-slip mat. I think they use them a lot on ships. They'll put them in cutlery drawers, but it's got all these perforated holes, and it is absolutely perfect for straining your celery juice. At first, the celery juice readily just pours out of that bag, but this in real time is exactly what I do to get so much celery juice out of my pulp. I just slowly work my way around, grabbing at the top a little piece at a time. Give it a slow squeeze. If you squeeze too fast, it'll all just squirt out everywhere and you'll have green juice all over your kitchen. So take your time. It does take a few minutes, takes a little bit of patience. Little hand folds all the way around. Think about getting right into the middle. So I'm going quite deep into the middle. If you just try and squeeze it all as one bag, it won't work. You'll get a little bit of juice, but you'll leave a lot of that goodness behind. So try and section it out a little bit. You notice that I'm still at the top. I won't move my way down to the bottom until I feel pretty certain that I've got just about all the juice out of the top that I can. And I know it seems like a lot of effort to go through all of this every morning to get your juice, but I can tell you that in the short time that I've been doing this, I have found it to be absolutely worth it. And of course, this is just how to do it if you don't have a juicer. If you decide that this is something that you want to do long term, then go ahead and get yourself a juicer. But I do still find that even with a juicer, it lets a bit of pulp through. So once I've juiced with a juicer, I will then get this rubber matting thing that I've got, line it in my bowl, and I will pour the pulp, the juice that I've made from the juicer, I'll pour it into it anyway and just give it a quick strain. It goes through really quick, but it definitely sorts out all the bubbles and the froth and the little bit of pulp that a juicer still lets through. So I'm working my way down towards the bottom now. In this method, even though it's time consuming and it takes a bit of effort, it leaves you with absolutely beautiful, clean juice all ready to drink. All right, looks as though I've squeezed just about every bit of life out of that I can. So let's take a look at what's left behind. Now, if you've squeezed it out thoroughly, you're going to get this very dry looking pulp, and you can save that, put it in soup later. There's no need for it to go to waste. Dig it into the garden. And now on my measuring cup or my measuring vessel, I've got it marked at 16 ounces or 500 mils. So I'll stop here and show you how much juice I've managed to get out. So that is the 500 mils or 16 ounces. And now you can see how much extra has come out of that one plant. Now I always find it's nicer to drink it out of a wine glass, and I've seen on my Facebook post that a lot of you like drinking it out of some kind of glass as well. I have to admit, I haven't seen any men say that they need to drink it out of a fancy cup. I wonder if a beer mug would work for those guys. But it absolutely works for me. If I could fill this third glass, that would make it 750 mils or 25 ounces. I'm just shy of that, but you can see that there's well over the 16 ounces. Enjoy.